What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Pack a Day podcast. I'm your host, Andy Herman. You can follow me on Twitter at Andy Herman NFL. Back here for a few quick hits from Tuesday's practice, our first padded practice of the year. And if you remember on Monday, we ended Monday's practice with a 2-minute drill featuring the number twos, and it was Jordan Love. And he had a very rough go of it. He had a missed pass to the outside, then probably a poor decision where he completed a ball in bounds as the clock ticked, and then threw an interception right in the waiting arms of Vernon Scott. Good play by Vernon Scott. Poor read, poor decision, poor throw by Jordan Love. Easily his worst day of practice in camp so far. Up until that point, he had been pretty solid, limiting mistakes, maybe not having the flashy plays, but doing all the things that you're kind of supposed to do as a number two quarterback, just making sure that all of these number two guys are in the right spot, that they're on the right cadence, control of the huddle, all those sort of things. And I had thought up until that point that Love had really made some progress. Well, now the question was, after that really rough 2-minute drill, how was he going to respond on Tuesday? Pads were on, and the answer was he was going to have arguably the best practice, best training camp practice of his young career. He was on target all day long. He had multiple big time throws. I thought the throw of Jordan Love's, offseason so far had been, to Sammy Watkins, I should say, deep crossing route. What I loved from Love on this play was the fact is he gets to his drop. Footwork is great. Goes through his progressions, makes the read, makes the throw, no hesitation, hits Watkins in rhythm. Watkins is able to get upfield a little bit before eventually going out of bounds. It was Sammy Watkins' biggest completion of his short Packers career so far, but definitely I thought Love's best throw of training camp. And again, one of the better throws that I've seen him, just do in person so far. And he wasn't done. He also had the last throw of the day, which was a beautiful back end zone fade to Romeo Doubs. Doubs goes up and beats Rico Gafford on the play, very back of the end zone, gets both feet in. It was a gorgeous catch and, concentration play by Romeo Doubs, but Jordan Love put it in exactly the right spot. Not an easy throw, tight coverage by Gafford, but both Love and Doubs get the job done on that play. And then I had multiple notes on, throughout the day. Love hits Dominique Daphne in stride. Love hits Alize Mack in stride. Love hits Samori Toure in stride. You could just see, and then he had another one, probably one of my other favorite plays of the day. I forget who had pressure on the play. It might have been Isaiah McDuffie, but somebody comes right up on Jordan Love and gets right in his face, and there's immediate pressure, and Love kind of just gets back far enough and is able to see Romeo Doubs streaking down the field on a 9 route, and he puts the ball right on Romeo Doubs. It was good coverage. You could actually tell from a couple plays earlier that I think Doubs was fighting a little bit of like an ankle something. Like you could just tell he wasn't 100%. But he put it right on Romeo Doubs. Romeo Doubs had the ability to come down with the football. Tight coverage, contested play, but gorgeous ball by Jordan Love. It doesn't, amount to anything, unfortunately, because it wasn't complete in the end. But I thought that was under pressure, quick read, hits Doubs in stride, gives him a perfect opportunity to make the play. Just couldn't come down with it. But that was another play by Jordan Love. And I just love the fact that he threw with confidence. He threw in rhythm. He hit his receivers in stride. It was the most accurate day that I saw out of him. Nobody's crowning anyone here. Like I said, he had a mostly solid start to camp, a rough day on Monday, but the bounce back on Tuesday was legit and definitely one of the best practices that I've ever seen out of Jordan Love. So we will see. And in regards to Romeo Doubs, when Matt LaFleur was asked about Romeo Doubs after his very first practice, Matt LaFleur made sort of the classic coaching statement of you need to put days like that together, right? Anyone can go out and have a good day of practice. Now can you do it over and over and repeat it over and over? We'll see. Wednesday is going to be a closed practice, which means it's probably going to be a little bit more walk through at a snail's pace like they did with the closed practice last week. But once Thursday comes along, Friday's family night, we'll see if Jordan Love can continue to stack success and put those consecutive practices together. He was my player of the day. My other player of the day was on the defensive side of the ball, and that was De'Vondre Campbell. He was all over the place. He had a stop on Dominique Daphne in the flat where they tried to get a little, bootleg action and a little, they tried to get Daphne like wide open on one of those classic bootlegs, right? And De'Vondre Campbell was right there for the immediate stop. They hit Alan Lazard for a short gain over the middle at one point. De'Vondre Campbell was there for an immediate stop. He was all over the run game, but his easily most impressive play of the day, and probably the overall play of the day, if I'm thinking back on it, was a gorgeous, gorgeous play where the Packers, I believe it was play action. Don't quote me on that because I didn't see the beginning of the play, but just based on everything, I think it was play action. But either way, Rodgers is dropping back to pass, and it's a deep crossing route to Romeo Doubs, who's trying to get in between the linebackers and the safeties, right? So zone defense, and you're just trying to hit that gap. And that is a play that Aaron Rodgers is going to hit over and over and over. And he threw a perfect ball to Romeo Doubs. It was in front of the safeties. The safeties had no chance of getting there, and no linebacker should really have any opportunity to get there. But De'Vondre Campbell, with his size, his athleticism, and the read that he made on this play, he got back immediately and then got depth in his drop, knowing that there wasn't necessarily anything in front of him that he had to be super concerned about. But the depth that he got, and then he used all of his size, laid out, got a fingertip on the ball, and tapped it away at the very last second to have the pass fall incomplete. This was a perfectly executed play by the offense. Doubs ran a great route. Rodgers hit him right in stride, and had it not been for a superhuman effort by De'Vondre Campbell, that is a completion all day, every day. But it wasn't, because De'Vondre Campbell was an absolute stud. That is why he was a first-team All-Pro a season ago. He is a tackling machine. He is getting back and reading the play and making ridiculous athletic plays on passing plays. De'Vondre Campbell is a stud and showed exactly why on Tuesday's practice. And then the only other key takeaway here was more of just an interesting one, right? So Jaire Alexander starts practice, is in his pads and everything, goes through individual drills, and then as team drills start, Jaire Alexander is held off to the side. That's not totally uncommon. He's been practicing in team drills, but not all of them. They have, kind of kept an eye on his snaps, I think, a little bit through practice so far. So it wasn't like a huge, tell of anything. But then a little bit later, he was completely out of his pads and just sitting to the sideline with a ball in his hands. It was confirmed to the media later that Jaire Alexander did not have any injury issue. There was no confirmation on if it was a rest day. If it was a rest day, you'd think he would have gotten the entire day off, like Mercedes Lewis did, who had the full day off and was in street clothes the entire time. But instead, he was in pads, went through individuals, and then dropped out, but it wasn't due to injury. So it would be rare if he had a disciplinary issue midway through practice. If it's not due to injury, it was just a really weird circumstance. So my guess is still some sort of rest where they wanted him still to go through some of the individuals and then not do team. And this just could be, him resting, coming back from injury a season ago. I don't know. I don't have a great answer for it. But that was more of a interesting takeaway that, like I said, I wish I had more information on, but as of recording this, there's been no additional details that have been given. We'll continue to keep an eye on it, obviously, as camp progresses, and hopefully he's back even in the walkthrough, practice tomorrow, back to normal. Everything's good to go. But it was just a little bit of an interesting development. One other quick one, we got to see Zach Tom at right tackle for the first time. So starting offensive line was Yosh Nijman, John Runyon Jr., Josh Myers, Royce Newman, and then obviously Zach Tom at right tackle. That is going to do it for today's Quick Hits. I will be right back here tomorrow with a full breakdown of everything that happened in practice, including a bit more detail on Love and Campbell and everything else. So make sure to check that out tomorrow. But until next time, and as always, go Pack Go.